So your ex just texted you out of the blue during no contact. What do you do? How do you handle this situation? Little bro, I got you. Let's get into it. Most guys fear whenever their ex reaches out to them. Two things. Number one, that the message isn't what they want to hear. And what they want to hear is an apology. They want to hear, I miss you. They want to hear, let's reconnect. They want to hear, let me suck your, they want to hear something emotional. They want to hear her say how much she missed them and how much she wishes she could go back and just redo this whole thing because she screwed up so bad. But here's the deal. Most women, the vast majority of them, are simply not going to do that. This is not because she doesn't care. That's not because she doesn't feel that. It's because that's a high-risk text. So if she sends that to you and you ignore it, or you don't reply the way that she would want you to reply, that is going to hurt her feelings so much more than if she were to text you, hey, and you don't respond to that one. One of them would cripple her feelings. The other one might make her mad, might poke her ego a little bit. She'll get over that one pretty well. That's why women send you these low-risk texts when they reach back out after no contact. Don't be mad, don't be offended, don't call her out on it. And the second fear is simply this. Not only did she not reach out with the message that you were expecting to hear, but she actually might be using you. Maybe she doesn't really miss you. Maybe she's just using you for money. Maybe she's just using you for validation. Maybe she just wants your attention and doesn't really care about your heart. All right there, Charlie Puth. So how do you know when she reaches out? Here's the deal. I've got a way to weed out the women who are actually serious about you, who actually want to reconnect, who actually miss you, versus the women who, yeah, they just want you for validation. They just kind of want to check up on you. Maybe they want to see if they can still control you. Those types of women, obviously, you don't want to give them the time of day. So I've got a method for you right here. And it's not complicated. It's not difficult to follow, but it's something that might be a little bit counterintuitive to what you're used to hearing, especially if you watch TV, movies, this romanticized bullshit about relationships. When she reaches out to you, and most exes do, when she reaches out to you, and she says something like, hey, your response needs to be flat, but polite. Not cold, but not warm. Think customer service voice. So what does that look like? That looks like this. She reaches out with, hey, how have you been? Are you still alive? What's going on? What's up? You reply something like, nothing much, been great, hope all is well. You do not ask her a question. You do not even try to continue the conversation. You put 100% of the burden of that conversation off on her. That is not your job to continue that conversation. That's hers. And here's what will weed the women out from the ones who actually want a conversation with you from the ones who just want your validation. They just want your attention. They don't really care about you. Is because the women who care about you are going to either continue the conversation immediately, the next day, or the next week. After a week, if you haven't heard from her from that initial reach out, she didn't care about you, she just wanted your attention. The reason you are replying flat but polite and not cold but not warm and flirty either is because you are not going to escalate that conversation. You're not going to continue that conversation. That is all on her. So she'll say, hey, you say, hey, good to hear from you. Hope all is well. And that's it. The ball is completely in her court. If she wants to continue that conversation, guess what she has to do? A little word that the modern woman simply doesn't know anything about. Work. They actually have to work on their relationships instead of just jump to another one. That's a fascinating idea for the modern woman, I know, but stay with me because it gets better. She will actually have to reach out to you again, and she'll say, hey, I don't like how we left things. Or she'll say, hey, was just thinking about you. She'll say something a little bit more revealing, a little bit more vulnerable every single time she reaches out to you because she understands that I'm actually gonna have to chase this guy. I'm actually gonna have to work just a little bit to get this guy's attention. And the key with this is not that you're cold. It's not that you're always flat or always using your customer service voice. Is that after a couple replies, after she escalates, that's when you're gonna give in to her. Now let's back up just slightly because there is a chance she reaches out to you with emotion. There is a chance she reaches out to you and says, hey, I miss you. I've really been thinking about you. I'm sorry how we left things, blah, blah, blah. What do you do in that situation? You do not reply in your customer service voice. The reason you don't is because she's being open and vulnerable with you. So what you do is you match her flirting, her sincerity, her emotion, but only up to half of what hers is. That's the trick, okay? So she reaches out and she says, hey, I really miss you. I have been thinking about you and I want to give this another shot. You can reply with something like, yeah, I miss our talks. I remember you used to be a lot of trouble. Ha ha ha. Something like that. It's flirty, but it's not up to her level. You see what I'm saying? So that she's going to have to, again, keep pursuing this conversation, keep pursuing this interaction if she wants it to go somewhere. So if she reaches out with emotion, you're going to reply with the exact same emotion, but only up to half. If she replies bitchy, or if she replies mean, or if she replies something like, so I guess we're just never gonna talk, or are you ignoring me, or something like that, you don't want to answer those. If she replies something like that, you simply don't want to answer. You don't want to engage if she's going to be bitchy, or cold, or distant, or mean, or disrespectful, or anything like that. You simply ignore those. You don't give those the time of day. But if she replies back with emotion, you match that emotion up to half, and more often than not though, she's simply going to reply, hey, how you been? Something real, flat, which is why you reply flat, detached, like nothing bothers you. And it shouldn't. Nothing should bother you. After a couple texts, you're going to want to end the conversation early, always. This is going to be a rule until you get back together. You're always going to want to tell her, you're busy, you've got to go, it was great catching up. You don't make any plans to talk to her in the future. You don't tell her, I'll text you this Saturday. You don't tell her I'm going to work. You don't tell her any excuse. Do not leave her on read. Do not leave her on delivered. Don't text her the next day and simply say, oops, I fell asleep. Okay, none of that matters. You end the conversation to make her re-initiate the conversation the next day, the next week, something like that. And if she still has feelings for you, and there's a high chance she does because she reached out first, then she's going to do it all over again. And it's probably not even gonna be a week. It's probably gonna be a day or two, and then you'll hear from her again. But after a couple texts, even if they're flirty, no matter what they are, you end the conversation early and take yourself out of it. You've got to let her know that she is seriously going to have to work for your attention. She's going to have to work for her place back in your life. If she does not work for that, she's going to treat you the exact same way because you gave her the position of your girlfriend, or at least the girl that you were talking to last time, and you placed her on a pedestal in your life. And that's why she devalued it. She didn't really have to work for it. She thinks she can just walk right up to that pedestal again. But here's the deal, you're not gonna let her. You said, nope, you didn't want me in your life, you got it. And now you want to come back into it? Okay, I get that. We all make mistakes, but here's the deal. You're going to have to work for it now. Because I'm not going to allow somebody into my life that is not going to respect me and my time. Forget about my emotions. Like, those things are bottom tier. You should at least have some respect for yourself as a man, for your time, and for what you do in life. And all of those things are going to be taken by a woman who does not respect you. Next, you always make them initiate the conversation again. So after she reaches out, after you have a couple texts back and forth, even if they're flirty, it doesn't matter. The conversation ends, you say, hey, gotta go, it was great catching up, and you leave it at that. Then she texts you the next day. Then she texts you the next day, then she texts you the next week, and she says the same thing. But this time she's gonna be a little bit more open, a little bit more vulnerable, and you're gonna find that that's exactly what happens as she reaches out more and more and more. You reply up to half of her emotional level. You don't wanna be cold, but you don't wanna be too warm either, because if you're too warm, she's gonna think that she already has you, and guess what? She's gonna stop chasing just like that. If you're too cold, she's gonna give up because you're too cold. You obviously don't care about her. So you've got to match that level up to half, and only up to half. Then you always make them initiate the conversation in order to reach back out and to gain more of your time. So you are still in technically no contact with her even after she reaches out. You're not viewing her posts, you're not liking her stories, you're not doing anything like that. You are making her reach out into your world to earn a place in it. That's exactly how it should be, because you want that power dynamic on your side, because that's how the masculine and the feminine grow. That's what creates that sexual polarity. And if you are going to be chasing the feminine, then the feminine has to be the one that's leading. That's going to ruin the entire polarity of that relationship. And that might be the reason she broke up with you in the first place. So you always wait for them to initiate that conversation again. And like I said at the beginning of this video, if she doesn't, then that is proof that she was just using you for attention, or maybe she was bored. But here's the deal. Those are all low odds. Like if your ex is reaching out to you, especially within a couple months of the breakup, odds are really high she's not using you. She just misses you. Maybe she got with a guy and found out that that guy wasn't better and is trying to come back to you. I don't know. But the point is, there's still feelings there that she's trying to pursue. And if you do not make her earn her place, she's just going to take it all for granted again. She's going to leave you all over again. And it's going to start to be a cycle that just keeps repeating over and over again because you're weak enough to just allow her right back in. Over and over and over. She knows she doesn't have to work for it. She knows that all she has to do is flirt, maybe 1 or 2 messages, and all of a sudden you're inviting her to your place. You're not punishing her, but she's got to earn her place back in your life. So what do you do if your ex reaches out to you during no contact? You let them chase you because they've got to earn their place back. Lil bro, you got this, and I got you. I'll see you in the next one.